All right, so now continuing in our series on view components, we're going to do a deep dive into components. So, what you see here on the right is what we're looking to componentize, and over here on the left, we have Visual Studio Code and our project. As you can see, there's an awful lot going on in node modules. We don't need that, but what we do need is source and components. All right. And so, as I usually like to do, let's walk the app here. So it starts with index, it pushes it off to main. In this case, we're using JavaScript, not TypeScript, but that's okay. All right, and then it's firing up view and it's saying mount the app. So we come over here and we look at this. So this actually is a component. Any file that says .vue is a component. So that's good. All right, and so notice we have three components here, but really all we're looking at, these are the ones that are commented out. All we're looking at here is details. All right, so let's look at the details. And here is our details, right? So let's expand that for the moment. So as we can see, let's collapse some of this down. We kind of have two different major sections. And here is where we could break this down further. So I want to break this down so that this is a component and then this is a component. And we're going to start with the second one because this one is a fairly big component, and I don't want to go there. Oops, not that one. We want this one right here. We want to turn, in this demo, we're going to turn this into a component, and it's going to have a header, and then it's going to have uh, a slot. So this will be one slot, and then this section here, I'm not sure what to call that. Call it a body, but it'll be another slot for our component. All right, so let's go over here to components and add new file. So we're going to call this, let's see, how about card? Let's see, about the tutor. What would be a good name for that? How about, oh, let's call it profile profile info. All right, but I should have called that view. Let's rename dot view. And also, just following the naming conventions here, we don't want to be using underscore. We're just going to say profile info. All right, so every template starts with, lo and behold, template. So that's pretty easy to get started. All right, and just for the sake of testing, we're going to say hello world here. All right, saving that. And then we're going to come back to our details and we're going to insert our template right here. So we're going to say profile info view. Okay. All right. So, and notice it popped this little import. So that was very nice. All right, and let's save. Now let's go back to our browser and We don't see anything here yet. Why don't we see anything yet? We should, right? We should see a hello world in here. We have these, but that's not really doing anything. That's about the tuner. Um, let's just put test right here and save it. And let's go back to docking this on the right here. Come on, you can do this here. No, see, I've got two screens, so it doesn't like docking on the left. So, all right, we'll do it the other way around here. There we go. And then take this on the right. All right. So now as we can see, oh, so here we have our test did show up right away. So just to see where it is, and it's exactly expected because this is our header. This is our midsection right now that just says test. And over here in profile info, I still would have thought that we would have seen this hello world here. Not really sure why we don't see that yet, but we'll just leave that as it is. All right, so now what we really want to do is put this inside of our template. All right, so now we don't have any slots yet, but we now just have this broken out into a component. So I like breaking out components really about as far as possible. All right, so first we're going to save that, but then Visual Studio will do an automatic cleanup. Move to new file. No. Where's selection? Edit. File. Preferences. I don't know. I was just looking for a quick and easy way to clean this up other than manually doing it. But here we go. All right, that looks a little better. All right, we'll save that. Right, notice it hasn't shown up yet. So let's stop this. Well, I don't, let's see, it's page reload test. So why aren't we seeing our thing? Let's come down here to details. See, it's just a template. Card is just a template. So profile, all right, let's refresh the page. No, it's clearly it's shown up there. So why aren't we getting this? Mm. All right, I'm going to pause here for a moment. All right, where's my screen capture? All right, so when we added this profile info, here, let's do this again, because there's one thing that was Visual Studio Code did not do for us that it really should have done. So we made our profile info, and we now want to use that. We want to put it right here. So we say profile info. Right? Okay, but we have to have an import statement for it up here. And it actually put it in there for us before, but it didn't do one thing. It just said import, right? Profile info. Or let's see. But it has to be wrapped in a script. So if we come over here to app, as you can see, it says script setup, and then it says import details from. All right, so we have to do similar things. So let's go back to details and say um, import profile info from dot dot. Let's see what the exact syntax is here. Not here, but over here. It's dot dot source, and then components, and then profile info. Now, it should be giving us some IntelliSense here. Let's come over here and do our script setup because this is what it really needs. All right, and then we can say import profile info view. See, there we go. So now we're talking, and as you can see, it now put that in over here for us. So let's hit that save button. So we've now created this to get rid of this. So let's do that. And so now let's go a little deeper into our profile info. So this is still nice, but we want to actually now move this hard coding out of here and move it up to this level where we can basically assign this component parameters, right? So let's do that now. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to create a slot, and that slot's going to go right here. Let's expand this out because we want to be able to see it. So this is going to be our first slot right here. So instead of saying about tutor, uh, we're going to create a slot. And to get an example of what a slot looks like, we're just going to come back over here to our welcome item. And you see how it has a slot with a name. And actually, we're just going to, this is pretty much exactly what we want right here, is a slot with errors. So then we come back here to our profile info, and we say slot heading, right? So anything that we assign to that heading is going to get popped right in there. So again, we're going to save. We come back to our details, and now we're going to use that slot. So again, coming back here to the welcome item, and then back here to hello world. We wanted to get an example of using that welcome item. All right, went down over here to details. Uh, where? So this isn't really using any slots on all of these. So we're going to go back over here to Visual Studio, and I'm going to get an example of a slot over here. So here we have a welcome item, and so within that you're using this. Okay, here's an example heading. So a template. So a slot, using a slot uses again this template with this heading. So let's come back over here to our profile info. And in this case, we're going to make our heading tooling. All right, so let's save that. And then again, we're going to dock this over here on the left. Oops. And again, back over here. Come on. There we go. Put this on the left. And now you can see that tooling goes in there for the heading. So we're going to say, so about Martina. Save about Martina. All right. And then now we want to move this information out of the hard coded details. Oh, and go back here to here. So now we're going to make another slot. Now this is a little trickier because in this one, right now we're just going to, we didn't really want to do that. And we just wanted to come here. All right, and just make a paragraph. All right, and then we're going to make another slot. And we're going to call this uh, name equals body. All right, and so now you can take this, pull that out of there, clean this up a little bit. That looks a little better. All right, and then we're going to go back to our details. And now we're going to use that slot. And we're going to use the body slot. And we're now going to dump the details in here. And we're going to hit save. And there it is. Now, notice it looks pretty much exactly like it did before, but now this is much cleaner. All we have is the actual text of what we want, and all of our HTML details are over here. So we made progress, but what if we look at this? What is it that's repeating? Well, it's paragraph, right? So we have this paragraph, and it would be nice to just say, okay, this is paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. So in the actual app, you may or may not get all the way down, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into an actual paragraph as a component. So let's do that. Our next component, and we're going to call it a profile paragraph .view. All right, so again, we're going to say template, and we're going to save that. And now we come back to our profile info. Details, right? And we're going to pull one of these out. Cut that out there and go to our profile. All right. And here is what's going to get inserted into that slot. And so now we're going to create a slot. Name is, how about I don't know, data. And there we have our data slot. All right, saving. And so now we come back to our details. And first thing we need to do is now import. And it is a profile paragraph. All right, and then we can say profile. And within that, we can say template. And now we can put our data. And then let's just take this one right here, copy it, and put it inside there. All right, so we now hit save, and we come back over here. As we can see, it's now duplicated because we're in there twice, but it's looking exactly the same, but now we've componentized it even more. All right, and so now let's put one more profile paragraph over here, and we're gonna put this over here. Good, and then we can wipe out these. And there we have it. We're now like fully templated. We have the profile info, and within that we have a profile paragraph. And as you can see, it shows up over here. It looks good. Now, the whole point of doing all of this is that so that you can, at this level, you can add script that goes out and hits an API and comes back with this data, and then it just plugs that data in right there, right? If you have hard-coded text, you'll never be able to do that. But with components, you break it down, and then it's easy to put it in here. And that's done with data binding. That, again, is going to be another video. So I hope that wasn't too long, but you can see now how these templates are being put together, and we'll see you next time.